Hey, Nick.
Hey, Chase.
It's that time again.
What time is it?
Time for
Fuck This Place!
He sold tickets through, it wasn't Ticketmaster, but it was something like that for a fucking show at his house. It was crazy.
We should just intro the podcast. We'll go straight into it. What's up? Welcome to Fuck This Place, a podcast about jobs with Chase and Nick. My name is Chase.
My name is Nick, and with us today, another fantastic guest. You have seen him on the Late Late Show. He's also a finalist on Last Comic Standing, but he's with us here today, Mr. Ryan Connor. Ryan, how are you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing great.
Good.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
You're also running a show at Eno Vino in Atwater Village.
Love the Eno Vino.
Dude, I love that venue so much.
Mhm.
It's like, it should suck, but I love it.
Yeah,
I love it too
Why do you
much.
think they should suck?
The room's designed in the way.
Oh,
it's
no, the room's
shaped is
terrible.
bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like,
But it has
You
a
think the shape of the
downstairs.
room is bad? Because I think that's the best thing about the room.
Really?
I think, okay, you know what you're talking about, Nick, when you talk about the shape, you're talking about that goddamn window.
Yeah, that window.
like,
Oh,
Yeah,
cuts
yeah,
halfway
the
into the
window.
room.
Yeah. The
It's like
window,
if you were like, it's like if
there
you
should
were
be a
always
curtain.
standing with your hip out. If you were standing with your hip kicked out all the time,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
so I don't like that. But I love that room. That's one of my favorite places to do comedy in LA. I love
Yeah,
it.
Yeah,
But this is
there should be a curtain over that window. I just
Mhm.
don't. I just haven't broached that topic yet.
Yeah.
Well, I think there were various times where they did have a curtain over it. And
Really?
yeah, in like pre-pandemic for a little while, I think
Mhm.
there was one guy who was trying to like kind of take charge of the space a little bit more. And like they had a curtain, and in some way the curtain felt weirder.
Really?
You know, well, partially again, that's the hip thing. It was just like now the hips wearing, like jorts.
Oh
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Well, and the other thing that I think is so nice, especially for, not for the comics that are on stage, but for everybody else, it is nice to be in the bar area. Because that's one thing is that bar, for those for the people who are listening to this
I know.
podcast that have not been to
It's
this
very
one tiny
specific.
room in like the outlying areas of the dense part of Los Angeles. Let me describe it to you. There's a bar in a basement, which is very rare in Los Angeles. There's no basements.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
And so
And
just
that's very cool.
and that's very cool. The vibe of walking down a flight of steps to go see anything, especially comedy, always feels a little bit like I'm in on something, right?
Yeah.
Because you walk through a wine shop to get to this place. We're going deep.
Yeah,
Anyway,
yeah.
so then you're in the bar, and the bar is great. It's big and open, but it's a little echoey, right? Because it's just all concrete. And then there's this little side room with this almost like a bay window protruding into the room. And when you're in the bar, it is nice to see that there's a show going on, because then you're like, ooh, let me get in there, But it is a little bit weird when you're in the room, because it kind of fucks the vibe of the room up. Because you can look out there and be like, maybe I should be in there, maybe I should be at the bar,
Yeah.
Where you're allowed to talk to people.
Yeah, this person's talking to me,
Yeah.
and I'm glad that they are, and perhaps they're doing a very good job of it. But nonetheless, if I want another drink, I do have to go through this glass pane. So, but it is, again, it's a very enjoyable spot. So glad we went down that road. Ryan, we are going to just jump straight into our first segment that we do on every podcast. It's a podcast that we call podcast segment that we call Fuck This Place ? Where we decide if we would work somewhere or not. And so you're originally from Woodbridge, Virginia area. Is that correct?
That's great.
So we've actually pulled up some like Northern Virginia, DC area Craigslist posts.
Well, can you? I'm sorry. Just
No,
can you tell me a
please.
little bit about Woodbridge? I was looking for some posts out there, and it's a lot of. Can you put this into a truck and help me drive it over here? Like,
Mhm.
what was
It's
it like
just
growing up there?
it's just a DC suburb.
Mhm.
It's like growing up in it's not the rich place, it's not the poor place, it's right in
Okay.
the middle.
Just real blue collar.
Yeah. Or I wouldn't even I guess there were blue collar sections, but it's DC, so it's like everyone works for the government or a tech company or
All
something
right.
like
Yeah,
that.
Yeah. Baby
So-
blue collar.
Baby-
Yeah. It's like it's middle class, but yeah, it's like nice middle class, I guess,
Oh, that's
is
cool.
the way I
I
put
would
it. Yeah,
really
but
like.
there are rough areas. Too.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I would really like to submit baby blue collar as a new term.
Yeah,
I
that
like
people
that.
use because it's that it's that nice
Yeah.
that like cornflower blue, button-up shirt.
Yeah.
A little kiss of it,
Mhm,
So the
mhm.
guy's not afraid to carry a bunch of old laptops to the trash.
Yeah. You were saying about the various areas.
Yeah, I was gonna say because where I lived when we moved there when I was in middle school, when we moved there to the part of Woodbridge we were in, it was nice. And then in about 2 years, I don't know what the hell happened, but all of a sudden 2 houses down, they're dog fighting, SWAT raids at the house across the street from them,
Okay.
a few SWAT raids.
Yeah.
The same people put a third story on their house. Like you don't normally see a giant addition on a house that has SWAT raids.
For sure. They might be growing stuff in there.
Trying to find new places to hide from the cops.
Yeah, it could be.
What if we go one more flight?
Yeah, they won't look there.
It just went from like nice to like crack houses like that, and then my parents moved to sort of another part of town that's sleepier and full
Less
of
cracky.
golf courses. Yeah,
less double attic scenarios.
Yeah.
This is where we tell ghost stories, and this is where we cook meth. Double SWATs seems like I mean I know that I'm no law guy, but it seems like you do one SWAT raid, maybe you're good. Whatever you were doing in that house, maybe that spot's kind of blown up a little bit.
Right.
Yeah. Probably time to relocate.
Yeah.
Or maybe just find another line of work because they're on to you.
Yeah, for sure. Somebody's coming back.
Yeah.
Is all I'm saying. And or at the very least, if they're not coming back, they're going to pop by again. I think, you know, you have one SWAT raid. Someone's going to be like, I'm a little bored. Let's see what's going on at the previous SWAT house.
It sounds like you remember Jason Williams, the basketball player, not the one who
of course
killed a guy in front of the Globetrotters, but the other one.
I don't remember any of these people, but I'm so excited to learn about them right now.
Oh, well, one guy he killed his limo driver by accident playing with a shotgun and killed him in front of the entire Globetrotters.
Oh man, yeah.
It's all those weird Scooby-Doo episode.
Yeah. I was gonna say all those like spinning. They're all spinning the ball in the fingers and just came to a screeching stop.
Yeah.
Well, that certainly killed the mood. Put the ladder away. We're done for today.
Then the other Jason Williams, he tested positive for weed 3 times.
Yeah.
And the third time this is when you couldn't do that in the NBA. And the third time he tested positive, they're like, dude, why did you keep smoking during the season? And he was like, well, they already tested me twice. I figured, why would they test me a third time?
Right.
It's like, yeah, because that's
or the exact opposite applies.
Yeah.
They're like, well, we already hit it. We already got a hit here. Let's see if we can just go for 3.
It's funny to think that
you know how basketball works. Like you try for more points every time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny to think that on the other side, they were thinking like he couldn't possibly test positive. Do you want to find out? Do you want to just see?
Right.
There's no way this guy's this dumb.
Right.
You're talking to the assistant coach. Like, I assure you,
yeah,
he has learned his lesson. Yeah. Yep. Well, bummer for both those dudes. One a lot more than the other.
Sincerely.
Yeah.
But I understand, both of them were goofs. Both of them were, pretty big goofs. So anyway, we're gonna look at 3 Craigslist job titles.
Oh boy.
I'm gonna name the 3 titles. You're gonna say fuck this place automatically to one of them, just like I'm not even gonna bother clicking. And then we'll look at the 2 and decide if it would work there or not. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So we're picking one for a no. So job title number 1 is dig a trench. Very in line with Nick's findings. Job title number 2 is looking for someone to help for a seminar. So this could be this government, tech situation. And the last one is need someone to help with calling casino customers. So which one is it? Automatic no. Dig a trench, looking the seminar thing, or calling casino customers.
I'm gonna pass on the trench one straight off the bat. Yeah, just based on the amount of effort. I think it sounds like you probably got the most. Hold on, what was the second job again?
Second job was help for a
Seminar?
seminar. Yeah, it's okay. You can stick with
Okay,
trench.
yeah,
It's fine.
trench. I'm passing on trench.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Fuck
Just
that.
because that's like historically the worst job there is.
Yeah. Isn't like aren't the only reasons to dig a trench either boring or scary?
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
agriculture or your own grave.
Yeah.
Your own grave and a bunch of others. Yeah, no. Digging a trench is the cartoon egregious like amount of labor. So I think it's safe to say fuck that place. So let's take a look. We'll jump straight into looking for someone to help for a seminar. There's no pictures or anything with this post. So the text begins and it says, I'm looking for one person. And then in quotation marks, it says, looking for one person in quotation marks, female, 22 to 30, real specific range.
It's like if you know what I mean. Is that why it didn't quotes? Like, what does that mean? Why are the quotes there?
Female, if you know what I mean, to help check in attendees, hand out material and general help during the event, which I assume their event is the seminar they mentioned in the title. 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. Saturdays, plural, more than one Saturday.
In that small extra S at the end there.
Yeah. The attire is polo, and again in quotation marks we have the word provided. so the attire is polo provided, wink, shirt and khaki pants. What blows my mind is that polo, this person breaks it up. It's got to be a he. The attire is polo provided shirt, and it's like, why not polo shirt provided anyway? And
it's
khaki
like
pants.
Provided is polo shirt's nickname.
Yeah. Oh, we all know provided, man. Oh yeah, provided. Yeah. I thought you were talking about polo shirts. No. It's one specific kind. And then it continues. Payment is $20 an hour, paid at the end of the event, and then in quotation marks again, $100 cash.
And the dollar sign is after the 20.
That's correct. The dollar sign
payment,
is,
and then it's in the correct place the second time, but also in quotes.
Yeah.
So is it Monopoly money? What the? I'm saying
great.
Right off the bat, I was like, well, this is the job I'd probably take. And now that I'm looking at it, I would dig a trench over this because it doesn't even say what kind of seminar. Like it's like you're going to say, thanks for helping us take America back. And you're like, wait,
yeah, we're storming the Capitol at this seminar. Then please send name with picture, email, and phone number. Picture's not a good sign. I'll be and this person responds with, I'll be returning call no later than 3 p.m. Friday. Very specific on this. No quotation marks on 3 p.m. Friday, right? You understand what it means to deliver a hard line, right? But you're not giving us that. And the compensation box does reiterate, and we are back to the dollar sign being the wrong side of the money, and it's $100 sign paid cash.
And I'm looking at where this is on the map. This is a very affluent area.
Oh yeah. Outside of like Fair Oaks, mansions, McMansions at the very least.
Vince McMahon.
This is like partners of Accenture and AOL when that existed. That's where they live, is right there.
Okay, got it. AOL. Yeah. Well, they're not there anymore, but their descendants are. My dad worked in the AOL mines.
I'm trying to figure out what the hell kind of seminar this could be, and also where $100 would be acceptable.
Also, great question, especially if it's eight. Okay, so let's just say optimistically that this is $100 per session, right? So and it's 8 to 1, right? So that's like, I'm bad at math. I'm going to like do it on
5 hours. So $20 an hour.
20. Thank you very much. Right.
You're welcome.
$20 an hour. So that's not a lot, but not nothing, but also pretty sure that, this person didn't put the time in quotation marks, but they might as well have, because it's going to be can you stay to 1:30 or 2? Like we got,
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, also, you're 22 to 30. You're not taking, like, if you're a teenager or you're in college, you'd take that. Oh, $100 for 5 hours. I'll do that.
And
you're talking to someone who has a real job at this point.
Exactly. They're real enough to run a seminar. And I completely agree. If you're in college, like $100 on a Saturday, you're going to be hungover from 8 to 1 anyway. So you might as well be like, well, I'm going to be sad. I might as well be sad at this seminar where there's, at least like a can of Coke or something.
Right.
So, I mean, again, not a good situation, I think. The quotation marks have, we've seen a lot of quotation marks, on this podcast from obviously crazy people, but like this is by far the most unhinged arrangement of those quotation marks.
Yeah.
Like, why is female 22 to 30 in quotation marks? It's pretty clear that's exactly what you mean. Right.
Exactly.
Like,
yeah, he's trying to keep you like off balance via quotation marks, like just unsure of yourself or anything you believe anymore because of how many quotation marks you use.
I don't want to pass judgment on anyone, but it seems like this person might be an idiot.
Yeah. Hey, that's all right. I think that's fair. And I think it's also really important to notice, to note that you can be dumb and run a seminar,
Sure.
There's you don't in any way have to be truly smart. You could run a seminar on anything at all. It could be, like expressing anal pet glands, it could be just a slideshow of his vacation. So we have, Ryan, you mentioned quite some time ago, not a single mention of the subject matter of this seminar. Right. And if there's no mention of the subject matter, then we know that it's towing the line.
Yes.
In one way or another.
Yeah, you're not gonna if it's like a fucking healthcare related thing, you're not gonna hide that.
No. Yeah, no.
Community
it's probably
outreach. You're not gonna like spring that on them at the last.
You know what
second.
it probably is? It's probably just a slideshow of all the pictures of the people that have applied to help with the seminar. It's just like, well, this is Katie, and that's the only one. It's bad. It's going to be bad, if you're not. Well, the other thing is we've run into bad people that are willing to at least allude to the fact that like if let's imagine this is like some truly like, like full on like anti-vax shit or whatever. Like they would usually drop a line to kind of indicate like, hey, this is about freedom. Okay. You know, like,
they give you the old Fight Club wink in the post, let you know what this is about.
And in this case, it's absolutely nothing. So it has to be horrendous. It has to be.
You know what I'm really thinking here is that based on where this is on the map, that is also generally where the government center is.
Okay.
Ooh.
And also they have a gubernatorial race going on right now.
That's true.
And Youngkin, the Republican, is a staunch Trump ally. And this is a very blue area. And I wonder if it's one of those things where they're trying to drive people, just
try to run a couple seminars.
It's probably not actually a seminar, maybe more of a rally, trying to fucking rile up some troops. Because they did this during the election in November at this government center where people without masks tried to block people from voting.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And so that's kind of what I'm thinking there.
Okay.
And now they're trying to step this up, but he's like, what was wrong last time? Wasn't enough sexy females 22 to 30. That's what we were missing last time. So
also,
we provide them polos.
I didn't provide them polos.
We're gonna get you looking good in a polo and khakis.
Yeah.
That's my main reason why. Yeah, get you looking like an old fat golfer.
Yeah. You know what? Like, we're trying to market with 22-year-old women wearing polos and khakis. It's for the Republican Party or T-Mobile.
Two ominous figures in the world today.
T-Mobile is really coming after us. I mean,
really
and the other thing about this polo shirt is it's not a polo shirt that fits. It's one of those polo shirts. The sleeves go all the way down to the elbow. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. It's a one size fits all. If they're
it's not far away from one of those baseball shirts.
One day.
Yeah, exactly. A one-day thing, triple XL. Yeah.
It's wild that he wouldn't even just say like, tell me what size shirt you wear. He's instead electing send me a picture of you and I'll guess.
I'll figure it out.
I mean, they're providing. It looks like they're providing pants too, right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
correct. Well, that's the thing is we're very unclear on purpose, unclear about what is in fact provided. It appears that maybe the polo shirt is provided, and maybe the khaki pants isn't, right?
You're right.
But I mean, the other thing is we're not sure of, even in the polo shirt categories, is it provided?
Yeah.
Is it provided, or is it just like you just well, if you're walking here and you find one on the street, that one's yours. And same thing goes for me. If I'm walking and I find one, then you'll get one. Otherwise, whatever you just showed up in. So yeah, I mean, obviously no, I'm not going to do this. And I think that, again, this person, the amount of quotation marks we're seeing here, it's going to be winks all the way with this guy. You're not even when you get there, you're not going to know what you're supposed to be doing.
Exactly. Yeah. And I'm in the same boat. I'm not showing up. Oh, go ahead, Chase.
No, I was gonna say, and we don't even know if they're paying. I mean, it says they're paying, but it's in quotation marks.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to field all kinds of questions, and it's not a good job.
Yeah. I don't like that. Yeah, because I also feel like provided being in the middle between polo and shirt, it makes me feel like he's gonna interrupt me all the time when I'm talking. Like he was. It feels to me like that's written like, let me cut you off before you get mad that I said polo.
Yeah.
I feel like this guy's going to constantly talk to me.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm not a female 22 to 30. I'm neither of those things. So he's not interested in me. But you know what? I don't think I'm going to show up like you guys said. I'm not going to show up and it's just like, oh, yeah, this is actually for wounded pet adoption. It's not
going to be something universally beloved.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
I take that, like digging a mass grave job or whatever that other one was.
Got it. Okay, well, let's pop over real quick and see if we can say yes or no to post number 2, which is need someone to help with calling casino customers. And there are 3 pictures. We're just going to go through them real quick. Picture number 1, I called a lanyard. And it says Hollywood Casino, Columbus, Ohio, which no better series of like words have come into play.
What is happening?
Hollywood Casino in where else but Columbus, Ohio.
Oh man, Columbus.
But it's a lanyard.
Ohio.
Would you say this is a lanyard? Or
this looks like some kind of like a fucking like a bungee cord or like something that goes in like a like you could hook stuff in the back of your pickup truck. It doesn't look like a good version of a bungee.
Oh, it could be a really big.
Like.
You're right. Scale is off here. I was expecting this to be one of those things. Not a good version of it, but you ever seen those card things where people, who like the manager at Target or whatever, they have those little retractable card things.
That's what I thought it was. I thought it was like
but it's not retractable. It is a bungee.
The pit boss would have it on their hip to unlock the money box or something.
Exactly. So it could be one of those.
This is baffling.
So that's picture number 1. And it's on it's like a black
pool table.
It looks like it's on a I was gonna say it's a very like gaming color green. It could be a pool table.
Is this photo just to prove that the poster knows what a casino is?
Hard to say.
He's like, I've been there once. See?
Hey, I went to Hollywood Casino in Columbus, Ohio. Now we have another picture and it's almost the same thing, but slightly different.
Shit.
And it says Seven Feathers Casino Resort. And it's clearly got 2 lanyard like heads. I don't know what you call it, but like the business end of a lanyard. There's 2 different design. Maybe they're showing the front and back. That's what they're doing here. The front is Seven Feathers Casino Resort. And then there's a sevenfeathers.com and then like an 800 number, right? And it connects to this little piece. And then instead of a bungee cord that it's connected to, now it's connected to one of those squiggly, expandable things, right? So we're getting closer to the manager retractable.
Almost like a really old phone cord, like a rotary phone cord.
Yeah, like a rotini pasta of phone cords. Okay, so that's number 2. And then picture number 3, not in any way like the first 2 pictures.
What is this device?
This is clearly not a picture. Like this is an image or something on a stock photography, but it looks to me like it's a grabber thing that is perhaps very gently grabbing a fake spider.
Yes.
Is it? What is this a real device?
It looks.
I hope not.
It looks like you ever see like when someone has like a garden hose that has a gun at the end, but it's like a really long gun.
Yeah.
It looks like that.
Very
but at the end of it is toothbrush bristles.
Bristles. Yeah.
And they are using those toothbrush bristles to grab what is obviously a fake spider.
Yeah, like a Halloween like spider ring.
Exactly, spider ring spider.
Style spider. Yeah.
And it's not even like real. This is like a Google stock image, which weird that Google has this.
Google's got everything, folks.
Yeah, I would not know how to Google it.
But what I don't understand is what this device is for. Right? Because like
some sort of subliminal message.
Because look, if you're in spider management, you're in your own category of devices, right? If you are doing experiments on spiders in like your dark tower at the top of like a mountain in Massachusetts or something,
real thundery.
Yeah. Then you got your own thing going on. If you're a witch, no big deal. But in this, it's like, why would anybody ever want to grab a spider like this?
Yeah, I think this is just about getting the conversation going. They're just trying to get people talking about it.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Yeah, you bring this to like a sales call or something, and you're like, "Listen, this is for spiders." And they're like, "The fuck are you talking about?"
It's like one of those things where those like ink blot tests that they're going to show you. Be like, what do you see here?
Yeah, you're right. This is a test to see if we've all gone mad, if we're addicted to laudanum or something.
And then he makes you feel weird. He's like, I see a couple dancing. I don't see spiders at all. It's like, what?
Yeah. No, you're the fucking wacko here. So I don't know why you would need or want this. Because again, if I see a spider, me smash, I'm gonna kill that spider, and I'm not gonna care about whether it gets gently caught in a pair of bristles. So that's the 3 pictures. Now let's move on to the post. Looking for a person who can make phone calls to Native American casinos and regular casinos. Why did you have to make them different?
Yeah.
Why did you do that?
Regular. Yikes.
He's like looking for someone to make phone calls to Native American casinos and actual casinos.
Yeah, just fucking laying it down. I think these people are dangerous. So
fuck, I see what this business is.
Yeah, so here we go. We're going to keep going. We're just going to breeze on past this. Pure racism. Native American casinos and regular casinos all over the USA. This is not telemarketing. And we could, the truth is we could stop reading the post right there. Because we know that it's telemarketing.
Yeah. The worst kind of telemarketing.
Yes. This is not telemarketing, as we have been in the same business for 40 years. That is not how you make something not something. Right?
Yeah.
You're not like, this isn't a sandwich because I have been making spaghetti all of my life. That's not true. A sandwich can still be a sandwich. We have patents in the casino industry. And you would be calling a list of customers from my business. Oh, yeah. Okay. So not telemarketing, just calling on the telephone customers. Maybe they need some kind of market that they could shop at. Must be very sharp and be able to talk on the phone and be good on the phone. Not just don't just be able to talk. Okay. Be good.
Mm-hmm. I don't feel like that guy's good. That guy's good.
You must like people and enjoy getting to the heart or bottom line or who actually chooses or buys the products we have. So this is pure telemarketing. Explaining our products. You would, of course, have catalog sheets, etc. Yeah, I would hope that I would have the product that I knew I was selling. There will be a commission attached to the hourly. There would also be a test period to see if this works for you and for us. First time you say us, as if you're not a lone man in a basement selling these things, we would need approximately 5 to 6 hours a day. If you're interested, please provide contact information, phone, email references, or resume showing your experience talking on the phone, customer service, taking orders, or working in the casino industry. And this isn't listed in the text, but the compensation box does say 15 an hour, although
cents an hour.
There is a period, so you are a little suspicious about about where specifically that period should be, especially considering the post we just saw.
The last post, right? Mm-hmm.
So it could be $1.50 an hour. It could be 15 an hour, but it's probably an hour. And that's the post. That's it.
I don't think this is a good job.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
I don't either.
Could you imagine cold calling people and say, those like keychain looking things?
Do you want one?
We can sell you new ones. instead of the ones you have. We can sell you new ones. I mean, there's no way they're making more than $3 a day, right?
Yeah,
Right,
and this is a tough game. You know, we've talked a little bit about telemarketing on this podcast, and the bottom line is you want to move up if you're gonna enter this game, right? And there's no way in fuck I would, not successfully anyway. You want things that are higher priced to sell, you know, because and granted, you're probably not selling one of these, right? What you're probably trying to do is call Seven Feathers Casino and Resort, and you want to sell them a batch of branded shit that they hand out to people, like just piece of shit swag.
I'm sorry, is Seven Feathers Casino Resort, is that a Native American casino or a regular one?
It's hard to say.
Yeah. Imagine, like that's your.
I would call them both regular casinos, you know?
Right.
Jesus Christ.
Just calling up like, hey, are you guys Native American or regular? Because I got some keychains and looking to see which one you want. To double back to that point, this person, what makes the Native American casinos not regular casinos? I've been in both, and they all have slots and a bunch of sad people in them.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
And you can smoke inside, which is, you know, an amazing feature in some casinos. So like this is a very bad job. Like if you're gonna be in sales, you might as well try to get in at like a fucking Verizon store or something, you know?
Yeah. I'd go with like a company.
A company.
Any sort of company.
Instead of a guy on Hoadley Road or whatever.
Yeah. Or exactly.
Yeah.
Go with a company that it's not just a guy who accidentally uploaded pictures from his like camera roll. Or
from his like Android.
Yeah.
For sure. I mean, it's bad. This is bad. And I will say, you know, this person's a liar. It's also, you know, that it's not telemarketing. Like anyone who says it's not telemarketing, you know, it's for sure telemarketing. Why would you even bring it up? You know, again, like if it's like, you know, I'm going to work in a doggy daycare, and the post starts out like, this is not telemarketing. Like, I understand. It said need attendant for doggy daycare Monday through Wednesday. So yeah, I know that's not telemarketing. So yeah, I mean, no.
Yeah, I don't want anything to do this. You're like, imagine you're like in their office or whatever, and you're like, oh, can I use the restroom? They're like, yeah, do you need the women's or the regular restroom?
Yeah, it's every category of this person's life. So across the board, we're just gonna say, fuck this place. Heyo, what's up, everybody?
What's going on, guys?
Hey, did you know that you can text this podcast? The number is 470-223-5627. That's 470-223-5627. We take your side, by the way. That's an automatic position. If you text us, we're on your side.
Yeah, I don't give a damn about your boss. You think I'm going to protect that guy? I hate that guy. I hate that guy. I got your back. We got your back here.
Absolutely. If we're like this is like a weirdo, like sleazy lawyer commercial. I mean, we're on your side to a point, you know.
I'm wearing a goofy suit right now.
I'm wearing a brown tie. Couldn't tell you why. If you need to talk shit about something, like we're your shit talking team. All you gotta do is text 470-223-5627. That's 470-223-5627. We're on your side.
Ryan, what is the first job you ever had?
First job, when I was 14, I waited tables at a like family restaurant.
What was it called?
It was called Po Folks.
Po Folks.
Po Folks.
Yeah, P-O Folks.
P-O apostrophe folks?
Yeah, oh yeah, they knew where to put the punctuation.
All right.
And it was just like, it was basically the only place that would hire a 14-year-old. And I was just trying to maximize my dollars per hour, and I knew you made tips. A guy from school worked there, and he was making good money for a high school kid. Only other place that was hiring 14-year-olds that I knew of. Well, actually, when my brothers worked at a barber shop, I ended up working there as well. And then my friend worked at a go-kart place next door to Po Folks. So on nights when it was slow, we go over there and just get to ride go-karts for free and play mini golf.
It's a pretty great job.
But top 5 job I've ever had.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, honestly, put any job, and if you can go play go-karts when it's a little slow,
best.
it's going to turn your job around real quick.
Oh,
managers should take
job.
note,
Right. Yeah. Just a few go-karts in the back. Well, actually,
that's what I mean.
Morale's going way up.
Don't take them to a go-kart, there's always people always do fucking team building days and shit. It's like, no. We want a couple of go-karts on site, We want to cruise around. Yeah. We want to get some air, It's gonna boost the team.
Okay, when you weren't just like riding a go-kart,
just Tokyo drifting around,
just drifting and hitting those like walls of tires or whatever that they would set up. When you're not doing that, what is your job over at Popo?
You mean then or now? Oh, there. No, then, I waited tables, man. I waited tables. Found out I'm not terribly good at it. I'm like conscientious, so like I'll try. And like I'm nice to people, but I don't have that thing that good servers have, like with you, like knowing when to do what and stuff like that. It's very, very mediocre. Just like couldn't be more in the middle there. Give me an appreciation. For servers.
To be fair to you, were 14 years old.
I was 14,
sure. But I did. You ever did?
I did. That is a very good point. I did. Wait tables as an adult, like part-time for about a year at a comedy club. And there I also found out I was probably in the 40th percentile.
So you weren't like 14-year-old level skill, you were like 17-year-old level skill. You moved up a little bit, but
and I put in the effort, but it was just like sometimes people be like, hey, I didn't get that thing yet. I'm like, yeah, I know. I don't understand how you would have had it by now, but other people are doing it. But
I don't understand where I would even got it from.
Yeah.
So if you could help me out and do some brainstorming, I'll come back.
You come back. You're like, guys, I just found this whole section in the back, got a bunch of food. I'm just gonna start going back there and bringing out whatever you asked for earlier. I'll be back.
You guys ever wait tables?
Yeah, a little bit.
It's hard, man.
But that was it.
Busing's hard as hell too. All that stuff is so hard.
Yeah.
If you're listening, tip very well.
Oh yeah. If you're listening to Fuck This Place, I'm pretty sure you should be tipping. But if you don't know that, please let's make that explicit now. Go ahead and do that, especially in in all places. But correct me if I'm wrong, Ryan. But I would guess that Virginia, not too dissimilar from North Carolina, your base pay, if you're a server, is not in fact minimum wage. It was like $2.15.
It was $2.13 an hour. Yeah.
So
they may have moved it up. No, I don't think they moved it up because I waited tables in DC the second time. It was $2.13 there too. But
God,
so basically,
damn, dude, that's so wild.
But
in DC.
Depression wages.
I know.
1939 wages.
You would make a few hundred a night though.
Oh, sure. But the thing go ahead, Ryan.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but what people don't realize is like, if you're not getting tipped well, you're losing money.
Absolutely. Yeah. And also by contrast, there are other places, let's just call it, I know for a fact, Oregon, California, where there's a more guaranteed hourly wage. And they're still getting basically the same amount of like good tips to fuck off tips, right? People in California don't be like, oh my God, they're getting an hourly wage, so I'm not going to tip them as much. They tip them 20% there. They tip them 20% in North Carolina, right? The difference is 20% is all they have.
And no benefits.
Correct.
Whatsoever.
Yeah.
And your entire, I forgot, I had to explain this to someone recently where I was like, the entire check goes to taxes. It's not very much money, but that all goes to taxes
for the most part.
And you pay. I was like, you pay taxes on your sales,
and
not
and the cash tips that you get are just like, those are mine now. Unless you make too significant a coin, and then you got to start reporting in cash. But nobody does that.
Yeah, people I never had to, but I know people I worked with in DC who did it full time.
Yeah.
They were
once you start making like
if you're
40K, or 50K, you start having to report that. Otherwise, you're like, I can't put this in a bank, for too long.
Exactly.
Or else I can't pay rent. You can't pay, rent in cash all the time. So yes, you were 14-year-old. You weren't very good. What is the menu at this place? Like, you said it's a family, like a family restaurant, like family run, or
southern stuff, like like fried chicken, meatloaf, stuff like that.
Meatloaf, man. Meatloaf in a restaurant.
Meatloaf came out. I don't even know if we had meatloaf.
It says a lot if a restaurant is willing to serve meatloaf.
Yeah, you're just like
fried steak.
Just desperately thinking of foods. Oh, fried chicken, meatloaf, bananas, popsicles. What else do they have?
I don't think we have meatloaf.
Capri Suns.
I worked at Boston Market in high school too, and we had meatloaf there. I don't know if that was what was in my head, because Po Folks, we definitely did not have.
Well, honestly though, I wouldn't put it past Po Folks for serving meatloaf. Especially
Po Folks got to eat whatever they can.
Meatloaf is by definition food for people that without means.
Yeah.
And who want it to be fucking tasty as shit. And they're like, I'm tired of eating burgers all the time. Meatloaf. Love a good meatloaf.
Love a good restaurant meatloaf.
I know, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Is if a restaurant serves meatloaf, it's one of two meatloafs. It's either like, listen, buddy, it's meatloaf, okay? Or it's like, we think we've made the best fucking meatloaf in the universe, And
Right.
We've redefined meatloaf,
It's like, our artisanal meatloaf and artisanal crafts mac and cheese tonight.
Yes.
Is like what they're making.
Yeah. They were not doing that.
No, they were not. So I'm just saying they may not have meatloaf on the menu, but they might have a meatloaf special from time to time. Like, why not? Throw a little ketchup on there. It's been so long since I've had a meatloaf. I had a sandwich with meatloaf in it. It was like a turkey meatloaf, like from a deli sandwich.
A deli sandwich? Really?
Yeah, it was fucking insane. No, it was ground up turkey, and they just turned that into a meatloaf, right?
Okay.
And then they put that on a sandwich. And was it a good time? It was all right, But I was
were you
like to find out
sad
about
going
this.
into that sandwich?
No, it was a work order, like people at work it was just like, pick from this list of things, and I was like, I'll try it was free, I'll try the turkey fucking meatloaf sandwich, and I'm not saying I wouldn't eat it again. I probably would, but would I order it? Would I pay for it? I don't think so.
I've never been a big fan of meatloaf, but I might try the meatloaf sandwich. The ground up turkey
spicy meatloaf. That's what really got me. I'm a sucker for. It was spicy, and it had fucking aioli. It's just mayonnaise, but it said it was gonna be spicy. I was like, okay, all right, you got me. It's spicy.
This is a lot of ingredients in this thing you've made. Okay, it's spicy meatloaf aioli mayonnaise sandwich.
Well, that was the sauce. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You were serving chicken fried steak, and
there it is,
and po' boys and shit. The client, you are not making a lot of money on your hourly wage, and obviously you do need to pull some tips, right? That is a restaurant called Po Folks, though. So, so how many people are tipping well? Was it all right?
I think so, but I don't know. I didn't have complaints. I don't think people.
You were
were
also
tipping.
14, so
I was 14. Money was very new to me.
Right.
And,
especially cash in hand. That's a big fucking deal.
Cash in your pocket when you're 14 is huge.
Huge. Every
it's
day.
Possible they were. Yeah, it's possible they were bad tippers, but I have no memory of it.
Yeah. Did you work? So you're 14. Was this like a summer job, or you were in school?
No, I was in school. I remember you had to get a job at 14. You had to get your guidance counselor and 2 teachers to sign off on a work permit for you, and your parents, obviously.
Yeah.
So
really?
It's
kind of
involved. Yeah.
I don't know if I knew 4 adults that liked me.
That would talk to you long enough to sign a piece of paper. Buzz off, fucking kid.
Basically, the rules you had to maintain certain grades, or people are resigned to the fact that you will never have good grades. That's the only way you can have a job. It was one or the other. Fuck, I forgot the question.
14.
But,
so
oh yeah. That's
the question was what was your schedule, I guess? Like after school, weekends?
Yeah, I think I did. It was always like 2 to 3 days a week. So like one weekend day and 1 or 2 weekday days. It like whatever worked around my other extracurriculars.
Got it. So they seem like they were kind of cool people. I mean, you know,
it was
a little weird to hire 14-year-olds, but cool. And they're like, we understand that you're 14.
Looking back, pretty shocking. It's not as weird as at Boston Market, man. Me and my friend Billy worked there junior year of high school, and we ran the drive-through, right? And we were like really good at the drive-through, and our boss gave us this, like, have you ever worked a drive-through and they have like the timer and it tells you like what your average is?
Oh, I've never worked a drive-through, but this is fascinating. Well, please.
Yeah, they do that. You want everyone in and out within 2 minutes. And the GM Mark was fond of reminding everyone that Billy and I had the fastest drive-through time on the East Coast.
Oh my God.
No idea how many Boston Markets there were. It could have been 5.
No, there's a good handful, I would say.
I mean, with drive-throughs.
Oh,
I don't know.
That's a very good point. The Boston Market,
who are in the circuit, so to speak.
Oh,
exactly.
Who are in the game?
The Daytona drive-throughs. Yeah.
So this is where it gets weird, because we ran the drive-through well. He essentially, like, when his other managers worked, they managed the shop. But when Mark worked, he would stay in the office and have Billy and I run the store. We were both 16. We trained everyone. And then sometimes he would just be gone for 3 hours. Nice. And 2 16-year-olds are running a business.
What's he doing? He's like buying heroin or something? What's he doing?
Dude, he was, I don't know. He was an enigma, man. One day he called like a 7 a.m. meeting on a Saturday, basically because they were renovating the store to turn into this like sort of expedited thing. And he started us off, he gathered us around in a circle and he goes, as you guys might know, I spent 15 years as a homicide detective in DC. And then one day I'm working and I realized people don't want police. They want food.
Yeah.
That was his speech. He brought us in at 7 a.m. for.
Okay.
And so he was telling us like how this place made him happy. It was just a really weird way to say it. So when he says that, we're like, okay, I understand you wanted to change your career. It's just a weird reasoning.
Yeah. Well, also, as you guys know, do we know? How do we know this? Have you told us this at every?
There are no studies. And then another day, like he messed up on his orders, and this was a Sunday, which is the busiest day in Boston Market.
Oh yeah, everybody wants the like bucket of fried chicken and some mac and cheese.
It's literally me, Billy, and one other person working at this whole place, and we run out of chicken. And I think all we had was ham and meatloaf left.
All right.
And he put a sign on the drive-thru. He was like, we got to shut down the drive-thru. We don't have the man hours and we can't explain to everyone we're out of chicken as much. So he put up a sign that said, due to unforeseen circumstances, whatever. He had Billy, he shows his ability to proofread it. And he spelled due and due to D-O. And Billy just goes, yeah, that's perfect. Let's go ahead and put that up. So anyway, we have no fucking clue why this guy let 16-year-olds run the store, but he did.
Well, I have a possibility, and it's that he was dumb. And I mean, he clearly can't spell do, right? It should be D-U-E, right? Yeah. And also because he, just didn't want to work. Right.
Yeah. You don't think any part of this was like a front so that he could keep solving crimes like outside the law?
Yeah. He's like leaves in a trench coat with like a magnifying glass. Right. He's like, I'll be right back. I'm going on my 15-minute break.
I hope that's what it was.
dude. And like he
Oh,
would come back
God.
in, and you'd be like, "Hey, boss, where were you?" And he'd be like, "Don't worry about it, but just so you know, case closed."
Yeah. He comes in with just like a
fucking
a
hope.
black eye and
Uh-huh.
his shirt's all ripped and stuff. He's like, "We got him, son. We got
Oh
him."
my God, dude. I hope that's what it was.
It's a great. I mean,
That's-
honestly, that's a great like comic book character. You know, like he's like
Yeah.
a secret investigator, like a like so deep cover. You know,
Right.
and he just runs a Boston market on the side
It's-
and just.
I don't know how bad. I know being a homicide detective must be absolutely just jarring.
Well,
every
back it
day.
up. He says he was a detective, not a homicide detective.
Oh, I thought he
So-
said homicide. Maybe I made that up. In my
Yeah,
head.
homicide.
Oh,
Oh yeah,
fuck.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. See, like I
Right.
imagine that's super jarring, right? But
Right.
how bad must it be where you're like, no, I've got to get into customer service. It's the only
Right,
thing
right.
less
Yeah.
stressful than what I do.
I got to get into the business where if someone doesn't get something in seconds, in
Right.
let's
Yeah.
call it 120 seconds, they're gonna flip their fucking shit.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
what I
for
want.
probably-
That's what I need.
Probably half the money,
Mhm.
Right.
double
Well,
the
maybe-
well, could be double the hours, but he didn't really work.
Right. I mean, so if so he's the owner of the Boston
He
market.
was the GM and like co-owner. Yeah.
Okay, got it. Yeah, I know you're right. It's you get tired of seeing the bodies, and then eventually you're just staring down just like huge,
Yeah, you're right,
fucking,
you're right.
like
You'd much
casserole
rather be
dishes
staring
full
down
of
at
mac and cheese.
Chicken
Yeah.
carcasses.
Right.
Yeah.
Chicken carcasses. He never mentioned outside of that one super early meeting that he was a homicide detective. Like he
No one
never
knew.
And then
We were
and
all
never
shocked.
again. Never again after
Never
that.
again. Not once.
Mhm.
Really?
Not
I mean,
once.
honestly, he played his card right in the sense of like, yeah, you only want to reveal that thing once or twice, to really let the mystery sink in.
Yeah. And I just want to say, nicest guy you could imagine.
Yeah.
Just
Nicest
to be
guy.
clear.
Left you there alone, but yeah, nice. Real
Yeah.
nice. When he was around and just cared about the Boston market. And well, he also kind of went, not health food, but he went into like comfort food in particular. He didn't go into like he could have done a McDonald's, could have done a Taco Bell, but instead he's like, what people need? They need potato salad,
Mhm.
Yeah.
So props to him.
Garlic and dill new potatoes to be exact.
Oh,
That's-
excuse me.
Oh, very nice.
Garlic and dill, new potatoes, right? With the red skin still in there.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Classy. It's classy potato salad. We got skins on, folks.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead, Nick. What was your?
I was gonna move it along.
Yeah, well, I'm fine with that.
Okay, Ryan. So that's your first couple jobs, we'll say. What would you say is the worst job you've ever had?
Well, I will tell you. Does it count if it's a 2-day temp job?
Whatever.
Everything counts.
Yeah.
So we can do this one and we
Okay.
can move on too.
I had 2 very corporate jobs that were definitely the worst, but this was the one that was like the most soul shattering. So, so I live in New York. I hadn't had a day job in a couple years at this point, and agent calls me and he's like, "You're a drummer." I've played percussion since I was like 9 or 10, and I was like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Well, you want to audition for the Blue Man Group?" And I was like, I only knew of it from Arrested Development.
What a
So I was
specific
like-
context.
I know. So it's like, yeah, sure. I didn't really know what it was. I didn't know how drums were involved. He's like, "All right, you got an audition in a few hours." I go in. Turns out it was the last audition of like 2 weeks of auditions they were doing. And they had me like first tell a story. And then they had me tell a story again, the same story without speaking, just like miming it.
Sure.
And then there was,
that makes a
then there
lot
was
more sense considering the things I know. But I was like, why are they making you
Yeah.
talk?
Yeah. These guys don't talk.
And then there was another sequence that they had another silent sequence they had me do. And then there was this drum thing that was very simple, right?
Mhm.
I didn't understand what the fuck I had just done. I get a call a couple days later. They're like, "All right, a couple hours later. That's right, it was the same day." And they go, "All right, next week you're in the like international callbacks. They're casting for 3 new shows. It was like Berlin, Tokyo, and somewhere."
Mhm.
what the fuck is this thing?
Like, okay.
So it was a 3-day callback.
Jesus.
I think it totaled like
it's like
18 or 20 hours
on
day?
on Blue Man Group Island.
Yeah, on Blue Man, exactly. They flew in people from all over. I think it was all over the U.S. I don't think there were any international, but because they had auditions all over the country, and we're doing all this shit. They all knew it. I had no fucking clue, which also meant I didn't care.
Right.
On the third day, sorry if you saw me fiddle with my phone earlier, it's because just in case this came up, I wanted to be able to show this. This is the third day.
That's you.
That's you.
Yeah, that's me.
That's you as a blue man.
That's me as a blue man. We're in full makeup for performance for the casting people and the creators.
Okay.
I had
you look like a guy in the Blue Man Group.
Yeah, yeah. At any point, do they try to introduce like a new religion to you or whatever that they're trying to get you in on?
It feels like they're already doing it.
Dude,
like, you know,
it felt like it. It felt like it because everyone else was so into it. They were like, we're going to be working on it. It was called like the Captain Crunch sequence or scene or something like that. Incredible. Yeah.
The Captain Crunch sequence?
I had Captain Crunch stuck to my head and shit. Right. And I didn't know if I did a good job or a poor job. I had no idea what had taken place. Right.
Yeah. You basically black out for 3 days.
Yeah.
And then you go take your shower and the blue grease on you is like this fucking thick.
So
right?
fucking thick. Yeah.
So is it like a group shower? Is it just one like they all make you take it? 200 of you?
They should do a group shower because it takes so fucking long. I thought I got it all off. I step out of the shower. I'm as blue as I was when I went in.
Whoa.
I took another shower. Yeah. I got maybe 80% of it off. I was like, fuck it. I'm just going to take the train home like this. Yeah. I don't care. The next 4 or 5 days, I'm still getting blue out of my ears, nose, just like weird spots that you wouldn't expect. Like blow my nose and blue shit comes out, right?
Yeah.
Whoa.
About 2 weeks later.
Okay, this is great. I'm ready.
I did not get the job. By the way. About 2 weeks later, I get a call from a temp agency that I had done like a temp thing for like a year prior or something, like a 1-day thing that my friend referred me to. They're like, hey, we have this 2-day job. We're wondering if you can take it. I was like, when and where? And they told me it was like the pay was okay. I was like, yeah, sure, I'll do it, I guess. And I go, I'm walking up to the building. I was like, this building looks familiar. I go in. It was working in the Blue Man Group offices, processing the paperwork for the new hires for their benefits and their new contracts.
Everybody else that got hired.
I was going through seeing how much every blue man makes, what their benefits are, their schedules. They get paid very well.
Yeah.
And I remember like I think it was late in the first day, the woman whose office I was in, I was just like at a table in the corner doing all this stuff. She was like, so are you familiar with the Blue Man Group? And I was like, somewhat.
Yeah. You're like rubbing the blue off to the back.
Yeah. So that was the most soul crushing.
Yeah, it's pretty soul crushing. You know, when you started telling that story, I was like, how is this connected? He was talking about this audition, but he was also talking about this 2-day job. Maybe you worked for the Blue Man Group for 2 days, and then you were like going back, and I was like, maybe they're gonna ask him to suck off every member of the Blue Man Group, you know,
for 2 days.
Like maybe that's how bad it's skinny. But that's honestly not that far off, my guess.
I definitely would get creeped out if the Blue Man Group kept finding ways to try to get
pull you in
with them. Yeah. Let me ask you, did you meet any of the actual Blue Men? Did they
the
talk?
Founders? Yeah.
And they talk or no?
Yeah. Oh yeah. They are talkable.
Were they in blue when you met them?
They were not. I'm pretty sure they were dressed in all black like architects, but I can't really remember because it was brief because they were like in the performance. They have a rehearsal space and then the performance space. We saw them for the first time because there were 9 of us at the audition, right? And it's groups of 3. I remember I was in the third group, so we audition and we see them kind of in the darkness, and then afterwards it's kind of like a shaking hands kind of thing on the way out, just not like a real conversation. It's just it's like maximum 15 seconds talking to each person.
Yeah,
they seem nice.
They seem nice.
They seem like they just.
Well, I was gonna say, like, they don't seem like it's like if one of them starts to sweat, then like it comes down and he's like blue underneath. Or
I was gonna say one of them starts to cry and the other one cries too. You know, like the tear comes out from another guy's eye.
I'm just saying, I think they are blue, and then they put on makeup to look normal.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I think you're probably right, because why else would you come up with that fucking scenario? Right. I can't figure out what's entertaining about it, because afterwards I watched. I mean, granted, I only watched about a 10-minute segment, but
nonetheless,
the percussion in it's not that good. It's fine. The story's kind of.
I think it's. I mean, I think
like, what is this?
I think the Blue Man Group for sure fits under the category of just like sort of spectacle, right? It's just sort of like it's interesting and it's weird, and it's also like super digestible for people that don't see a lot of other live performance, right? You know, like if they see
Gallagher element too, they splash paint on the crowd too. It's I don't understand who it's for.
I think it's just a lot. You know what I mean? Like I just think the show is a lot.
People want to take in a lot, right? Right. Children
like,
or people on mushrooms.
Yeah. Or just people that again they just do not see live performance for anything other than sort of this like really massive. There's for sure a reason why Blue Man Group does really well in really big sort of like cultural center cities / cities that get just a ton of tourists. Like New York is a city that is a cultural center and gets a ton of tourists. Vegas just gets a ton of tourists, right?
That makes sense. It's just an onslaught.
Right, because again, imagine it's really difficult. I think this is not related to your job, but I think it's very difficult to imagine as people who have been around in one capacity or another, like live performance, or for people who are used to performing, for X amount of years, right? Like a lot of people, like they maybe are in a high school play or their friends are, and like that is it, right? Like they don't they do not see any other live performance. Yeah, maybe some friends in a band, maybe they go to a bar with a band or whatever, but like to see a thing with a curtain and a fucking paint and a whatever is quite a lot, So I do think that's one of the reasons that it's so like watched.
That makes sense. That does make sense.
But I still don't get it, right? The guys are blue.
Don't get me wrong. I think it's stupid.
But I do understand where, some people are coming from. I'm just like, well, this is a lot, like I paid fucking $100 to go see something. I might as well be like, wow, what?
Yeah, you're right.
By the time that you leave.
Do you see something that looks like $100?
Exactly. Yeah.
Do they make you paint your whole body blue, or how much of your body is blue?
No. Only your so they put a bald cap on, and then you take 2 tubs of blue grease and latex gloves, and you do.
Wait, is there any kind of like a shaman before then that says like a spell or anything over the blue? Like there's not. They just
there is.
Oh, there is. Okay. Good.
Oh yeah. And
he's more purple.
Yeah.
He's evolved.
Basically, you do all the big stuff yourself, and then the makeup people do the fine tuning around the eyes, the nose, and they smooth it out. And then for your hands, they just wear these blue latex gloves that are tight.
Oh, got it.
Because you can't cover your
grip
hands
anything,
because you're playing. You're sort of playing drums, and
you're doing stuff with your hands.
You're wearing a black, and you're just wearing black for the other stuff.
Got it. So it's only just the most important parts of your personality that they, cover. And that, did they give you anything special to get the stuff off, like a cold cream or?
Nah, dude.
They were just like, go to the shower. Here's the oldest bar of soap we got. It's for everybody.
Fucking Suave in there or something like.
Jesus Christ!
It was like out of a dispenser, like hotels will sometimes have a dispenser in the shower. Is one of those.
Because it seems to me like they're using the wrong thing to get that makeup off.
Oh yeah. It should be like, you're right. It should be like a cold cream kind of deal.
Because cold cream feels so fucking gross, but it gets most of that shit off. Then you can't get the cold cream off, right? Like you have a kind of a greasy face from that, but at least your face looks like your face. right?
Yeah.
Minus like your eyelashes that are still blue or whatever. Anyway, just trying to give Blue Man Group a couple tips, you know.
So
if you got any reps listening right now, or any Blue Men,
have the Blue Men try to contact you since then? In any capacity,
Believe it or not,
have they shown up like in the reflection of a restaurant as you walk by, or just in any weird, creepy way? Maybe driving by in a car, you know?
Dude, I haven't even gotten like a gold star email trying to sell me tickets. Nothing.
Oh, wow.
I couldn't even tell you if they exist anymore. I'm sure they do.
They definitely do.
In some capacity. Yeah.
They always exist, you know. They're in various stages of hiding.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
And I would say in like, you know, they exist both in like physical and like gas form. Liquid form,
Yeah.
You know the weirdest
both linear and non-linear time.
Is it? It started in Boston. And if you said, tell me one city that would never work in, I'd be like Boston.
Yeah. What makes you say that?
I just feel like or Boston and Philly. I just feel like people are like, what the fuck is this?
It's a hard-nosed city. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Abstract entertainment is probably not like, a guaranteed home run. Yeah. No, I agree with you. But it is bizarre, but you know, there's probably some art. There's probably some art in Boston. You know, there's schools where people do art. Those people might go. Right?
I guess so. Yeah.
But no, you're right.
Just market to people at Tufts.
Yeah. Tufts, Harvard, Boston College, or whatever. You know, why don't you all come down? And you know, they kept them afloat for 6 years before they got picked up in New York or something. That's wild.
What were any of the other people auditioning have to say about anything? I can't imagine that I wouldn't be constantly making eyes at other people auditioning, just thinking like, dude, are we gonna die here?
Let me make a guess here. They're all fucking nerds for like the Blue Man Group.
Yeah, like
I mean, I know you already kind of teed it up, but like there's for the people who are in like the I'm gesturing wildly. If you're just listening, the people that are in contention for Blue Man Group, there's not a like for real, you know, that like really want it. There's not a lot of other paying avenues, right? That person could maybe do Cirque, but not really. Like Cirque is pretty much for like 16-year-old Latvian gymnasts, right?
Yeah,
and there's a couple of roles for like some like, you know, more comic like characters or whatever. But like as far as like big, steady paying, you know, you saw their pay, right? They get benefits and everything. If you're in that kind of like more theater tilted trajectory, Blue Man Group is one of the only, you know, like major shows in town, so to speak. So please continue.
It's the only
show. You nailed it. It's like you know, if you're in a group of 9 people, you know, usually you could gravitate towards someone
one or two,
you know, be able to, you know, talk to during breaks or whatever. There was just nothing for 3 days. There was just nothing to say to anyone. Like I mean, I may as well have been talking to different species or something. There was
yeah, but because they're in the corner practicing like magic tricks and shit. You know?
Which look.
Wait, they're all blue. They're all blue the whole time. Like while you're
no. Only day three. Okay.
Listen, we're only gonna do it on day 3. If we're gonna blue, we gotta go. You know,
it's too big of an ordeal. Like it's such a fucking ordeal. That's one of the things I couldn't even imagine. Once I did that, I was like, man, if I got this job, I don't think I could. Like, if I did, it would be like 3 months because I can't imagine having to get this off of me. They're contracted to do, I think it's 4 or 5 shows a week, and sometimes it's 2 a day. And I was like, I can't remove this makeup that many times.
Yeah,
like eventually it's just permanent because you're gonna have residue building up. But I would say like I'm a big Star Wars fan, right? But then occasionally I'll meet someone who says they're a Star Wars fan, and they're like, well, have you read the fucking one? And like they're just talking about all the books and stuff. I'm like, well, I'm not that kind.
Yeah. I like to watch it, and I think it's neat.
I can't tell you the stuff from the books. Like I'm not, and I was like, I don't even know what to say.
You're not doing no research on it.
That's what this felt like. I was like,
You mean this about these people's how their feelings about the color blue? Like you're just like, I like the color blue, and they're like, oh yeah, would you become blue?
And you know how
you piss blue?
You know
who exists
like
only in blue.
comics. Exactly. It's just so like, comics, you meet a comic anywhere, you can get along. There's just that commonality. It's kind of the same thing with drummers, right? It's a similar a similar mindset, and it's a similar sort of background. So I thought there would be that commonality, but these people were definitely drummers second or third.
Yeah, they're performers first.
Blue Man aficionados first.
Yeah.
Theater people second.
Oh wow. Wow.
Yeah.
A blue man
Jugglers
with the power of a
third.
theater person. Yeah.
And percussionists fifth.
It's fucking weird, man.
Dude, that sounds super fucking weird, dude. That sounds super fucking
And so
weird.
for those 2 days, you're just filing paperwork, like watching these people get like 20K, 30K, 50K, just a shitload of money, for a very limited time.
Oh no, they do. I'm pretty sure it's 12-month contract that you can opt out, and I think they started at 150.
Okay, so really
up to like 275 or something like that, and then plus full benefits.
Right. And that's one of the reasons why this is the only show in town, so to speak, is like, if you're in that world, I mean, just everybody think about how much you're willing to pay for live theater. And it's almost, it's not nothing. I would prefer someone pay me to go. Right. And it's usually in the form of, I know somebody who's in this, right? Like, that's the reason you go see live theater. And then in that sense, you are being paid in good friend karma. Right?
Or if you got a tip that the show was absolutely horrible.
Well, absolutely horrible.
Then I'll pay for it.
Or insanely phenomenal, like some kind of crazy superlative, right? But and so those people are the same people that are like, fuck, if I could just get into the Blue Man Group for 1 year, I wouldn't have to work the rest of my fucking life,
Yeah.
So you could.
Well, I like that you think someone can retire with $120,000.
But that's the thing is like they're like, I could keep doing theater for another 10 years if I just made $100,000 in one, because the rest I'm used to making $25,000 a year, just like doing odd jobs and doing as much theater as I possibly can. I know this because I'm familiar with these people. These were once my people. That's like there's like this quiet desperation among them of just like that somehow in some way it's going to work out in a place that has almost no vertical. I mean, like it's in some ways, to me, I'm not gonna say it's worse than comedy, but it has a different lilt, because it's just buddy, like even the people who are successful aren't making any money, right? Yeah. So it's a tough game.
Do you remember how much the actual Blue Men were making? Like the Blue Men?
Oh my God, so much.
The blue.
You mean the original 3?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think I saw their numbers, but because they had so many theaters at the time, it must have been astronomical.
I mean, they can be making $1 million a year. Like at least they're the CEO of a corporation.
Yeah, they're making a lot, well over that, I think, because they would sell out pretty much every show except for, I think all the rooms that they were casting when I auditioned ended up closing, or at least like Berlin and Tokyo did. I can't remember what the third one was, but aside from those, the others, I think they made crazy money.
Yeah, no, if you can afford to pay an entire cast of people like $100,000+, like you are doing fine.
Yeah, because each city had, I think they said 5 or 6 cast members, and they'd rotate.
Fuck.
What a wild little like poke you had, just sort of like,
I know, man.
Like you just sort of entered this weird bubble.
Yeah.
Pretty soul crushing.
It's weird to me. Like
so good, Nick.
I'll be honest, I haven't thought about the Blue Man Group in maybe 10 years.
Since those Intel commercials or whatever.
Now to know that they have an entire multi-million-dollar network of Blue Men around the country, I'm a little scared.
Yeah.
Well, it's also got to be a little bit crushing, for you in the sense that it's like, I could have had this opportunity, but I also probably didn't want it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't want it. I was like, I can't do stand-up in Tokyo.
No.
I can't do it. There might be stand-up in Berlin now, but if there wasn't a scene then for sure.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's why I was like, I even if I got this, I'm thinking I would just try to force my way out after 3 months.
Right. Yeah. You'd make the 3 months worth of money and be like, okay, that was cool, and then peace out. But so it's got to be tough to be like, oh man, all these people have this thing that they really wanted and I didn't want it, but it wouldn't be sweet to have some of this money, but I still wouldn't want to do what I would have to do to get this money, And that's just 2 full days of that, just circling back over and over again on the same 4 points. Wild and a little sad. Okay, Ryan, we always wrap the podcast up with 3 questions to make sure we kind of covered everything. For the first question, I guess we're kind of clear on the first question is, when were you done and how did you quit? Well, this one was like a term, it's just 2 days. So that was it. They didn't ask you back or anything, right?
Oh, no. Absolutely not.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I had very bad body language.
This guy doesn't seem like he wants to be here. And he also got blue behind his ears. He's been marked. Okay. So question number 2 is, what would you say is one good thing you took from that bad job?
Do what you love.
Yeah,
it worked for the Blue Man Group.
I mean, it really did. It appears to.
That's the closest thing I can reach for.
Yeah, fair. Okay. Yeah, don't do what you don't love. That's for goddamn sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Question number 3, not related to the bad.
Actually,
job.
More specifically, I don't want to be in the Blue Man Group. That was my biggest take.
And a huge and an important takeaway. If you ever get that call again, you don't need to waste a 3-day callback, which I would guess was unpaid, right?
It was unpaid.
So you wasted in essence 6 days or 5 days, like 3 days of callback and 2 days that were paid.
There's no need to there's no need to return to the Blue Man Mortal Kombat tournament or whatever.
Try and make your way into the top echelon. Okay, well, question number 3, not related, is we've had a pandemic. We're having a pandemic. How you been? Any new insights, worldviews? It's just sort of a general check-in.
I don't like what Bill Gates is doing with this vaccine. No, I'm just kidding.
Absolutely. We have a seminar that we run on this.
No, honestly, personally, I wish everyone wasn't dying.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah, we've established that. Yeah.
As far as my personal side, I'm doing all right. I'm generally an internally at peace person, and that hasn't changed. So I guess that makes me think I probably won't kill myself at any point.
Okay. Yeah. That's a rock solid footing compared to what a lot of people are standing on.
I'll take that. I'm going to say that's the only insight I got. Oh, that. And I don't mind being at home.
Sure. Yeah. So to some degree, your ship floats, the vessel that you already had assembled is sort of fine. Otherwise.
I'm fine with it. I'm fine with all of it.
Yeah. Tight. Great. Well, Ryan, where can people find you on the internet if you would like to be found?
Well, RyanConnorComedy.com. Check out some dates. I am in the next few weeks. I'm in Raleigh this week, Indianapolis the next week, and then Philly, then DC, recording in DC November 5th through the 7th.
Hell yeah.
Then St. Paul in December, Denver in January. So if you're in any of those cities, I'd love it if you came out. And then I don't really use Twitter. I don't like it.
Yeah, it's not that
I have a thing you can. It's no reason to go there. Instagram, I'm Ryan Connor 1. It's Connor with an ER. So there we go.
And we'll put links to all that in the show notes, so you can just
thanks so much.
Click away. Ryan, thank you so much for joining us. It was a pleasure.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
And fuck this place.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
Yeah, thanks for listening. If you had a good time, don't forget to subscribe, rate the podcast, leave a review, 5 stars, 4 stars. You can give less stars, but don't do that. I mean, you can, but just text us. It's 470-223-5627. That's 470-223-5627. You can just let it out, Get mean. We're here for you. Okay, that's it. Bye for now.